Hello and welcome to my solo sloop guide for Lost Gold Fort. This video is part of a series where I make solo sloop guides for all skull forts. Lost Gold Fort is one of the new active skull forts added in the Shrouded Spoils update and can be a bit annoying to approach as it can fire up to 5 cannons at you at a time. Most solo skull forts will take you around 15 to 30 minutes depending on the types of waves you get. Lost Gold Fort has a lot of cannons on the eastern side, however only a few on the western side, which cannot hit your ship when you're close to the cliff. However, I recommend approaching from the north or southern side as not many cannons can target you. I recommend parking your ship here, as it is safe from the cannons and can make it easy to get on and off of the island. When approaching the island, raise your sails slightly so you have more control of your ship, which gives you more time to repair, bail, and steer, as well as lowering your chances of smashing right into the skull fort, which causes more issues. A very important thing to do when approaching the island is to watch the cannonballs and make sure they don't hit your player, as dying or getting knocked off your ship can result in your ship sinking. You don't have to prioritize repairing too much, as it will take a while to sink from a few holes. It can be beneficial to just bail water every now and then, so it gives you time to steer and park your ship properly. You can always repair your ship when you've parked your ship in a safe location. If the ship starts to creak while you're steering, it means water is getting to the mid-deck, and you need to bail water immediately. Also, pick your opportunities for repairing, because if your ship is just going straight, then that can give you some time to bail some water or even repair a hull. Once you've parked your ship, raise the sails and anchor so it's ready to leave if you need to, because it's faster to drop the sails and leave than it is to raise the anchor. Now that the ship's parked, you can start dying to the skeletons on the skull fort. If you want to, you can switch to a blunderbuss, which will make it easier to kill the skellies, especially the gold boys. However, if you're not comfortable using a blunderbuss in PvP, I don't recommend it, because if a ship does attack you, you don't want to be put at more of a disadvantage. On Lost Gold Fort, there is 4 different locations that skeletons can spawn. To the north of the main building, to the east of the main building down the hill a bit, at the bottom of the main building, and at the top of the main building. Sometimes when they spawn in the main building, they can spawn at both the top and the bottom. There are a few different waves you can encounter, including the gold skellies, the grass skellies, the dark skellies, and the normal bandana or eye patch skellies. There's 2 different versions of these waves though. They either spawn a few skellies with swords, a few with guns, and occasionally a couple of gunpowder skellies, or a large amount of skellies with no weapons at all. The skellies with no weapons can be easily dealt with if you camp in a doorway or at the top of a ramp. If they spawn with guns, try and target the gun-wielding skellies first, as they will do the most damage. With the gun skeletons, you can hide behind other skellies so when they shoot the bullet, it will hit them and not you. Also, don't forget to utilize the large amount of bananas on the island. Try and heal as much as you can, even if you're almost at full health. Every little bit helps. When fighting the gold skellies, you can either use gunpowder or throw water on them and then shoot them with your gun. Alternatively, you can lure them to this spot and try and kill them with your ship. If it's night time and you're fighting dark skellies, you'll need to use your lamp to be able to hit them. Using the lamp will stun them and make them attackable for 10 seconds. Also, if a skeleton is blocking with his sword, you can jump around him and hit his head and side to get past his block. This also works with other players. All skull forts are loaded with gunpowder barrels, so don't forget to use them to blow through waves a lot quicker. But keep at least 1 gunpowder barrel, just in case another player shows up that isn't too friendly. If a gunpowder skeleton spawns and is grouped up with other skeletons, it can be more beneficial to suicide and kill all the skellies rather than backing off and shooting it, which might not kill all of them. And because the ship is in a safe spot, the skeletons that respawn on the cannons after you die won't be able to hit your ship. Every time you respawn or have a free moment, you want to be on the lookout for other players, because if they catch you off guard, it can be very bad. But if you know they're coming, you can defend yourself a lot better, or leave if you're not confident in your PvP skills. Also keep in mind that when you finish the skull fort, in the loot room, there is a few gunpowder barrels, as well as the new gunpowder barrel, which can be devastating. As a side note, if your ship is in the safe spot, the skellies on the cannons won't be shooting it. So if you hear the skellies shooting the cannons, you'll need to get back to your ship, because most likely another ship is approaching the skull fort. As a ship approaches, it will trigger the skellies to spawn back on the cannons and shoot the approaching vessel. When it hits the captain's wave, it will change the music to a more intense song. If you aren't near the island, it will sound a horn telling you it's the captain's wave. If you defeat the captain before all of the other skeletons, they will naturally dissolve into dust, Thanos style. Once you have defeated the captain, grab all of the expensive loot first, as well as the new gunpowder barrel, then the least expensive loot. If your ship does approach while getting the loot, you don't have to be greedy. If you are happy with the loot you've got and don't want to fight, you can leave some loot behind. However, if you are greedy and more confident in your PvP skills, you can attempt to fight them like I did. Also, as a side note, do not expect people to be friendly. Not everybody is going to be friendly in this game, so be very wary of other players. Also, don't let them on your ship. Even if they say they're friendly, they might be tricking you, and them being on your ship puts you at a massive disadvantage if they do attack you. Even if they are friendly, just be polite and ask them not to board your ship, as a precaution. Most people you come across while doing skull forts are not going to be friendly. If they're a full galleon of 4 people, why would they be friendly and ally with a solo sloop and get half the loot when they can kill and sink you and get all of the loot for themselves? If you do decide to fight them, try and board their ship with a skull fort gunpowder barrel and blow them up. A tip for doing this is light the barrel as you go up the ladder, so if they knock you off the ladder it explodes anyway, but if you get on board you can extinguish it and make a run for their bottom deck, not their mid deck like I did. Also try not to die in the blast so you can stop them from bailing and repairing. Also be careful as the new gunpowder barrel has a massive blast radius, which still damaged me when I was on the opposite side of the ship. If you do die and they repair, you can't say you didn't try. Missing other players while slowly slooping is always going to be a challenge. If you do get away with all the loot, head to Plunder Outpost to the east-southeast, which is the closest outpost, and sell it all. Or, if there's already a ship there, or you're paranoid a ship's hiding and you don't want to risk it, you can head to Golden Sands Outpost, which is northwest. Don't get upset if you don't get all of the loot, because there's always going to be another skull fort that may have even more loot in the future. Maybe you'll be at Sharkfin Camp, or Keelhaul Fort maybe. And if you do sink to another player, don't worry, I'll sink them for you. See you in the next video.